We're stepping out of the shores of Nigeria briefly to tell you that an earthquake shook the densely populated New York City metropolitan area Friday morning, with residents reporting they felt rumbling across the northeast. The U.S. Geological Survey reported a quake with a preliminary magnitude of 4.7 centered near Lebanon, New Jersey, or about 45 miles west of New York City and 50 miles north of Philadelphia. The fire department of New York said there were no initial reports of damage. The shaking stirred memories of the August 23, 2011 earthquake that jolted tens of millions of people from Georgia to Canada, registering magnitude 5.8. It was the strongest quake to hit the East Coast since World War II. The epicenter was in Virginia. Meanwhile, former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, said the quake affected his area in New Jersey. He joins us now to share his thoughts on that experience. Thank you for giving us your time. We understand this is a relatively rare event for the region. Tell us your experience of it.
Well, this is my own first experience with an earthquake. I was sitting sipping coffee in the morning, and it just felt like our building was tied to a train and moving. So initially we thought it was a railroad around us, but later on we found out it was an earthquake some 2 minutes later, because we were getting emergency information from the state emergency system from New York City, and then people started reporting on social media that this was an earthquake. So it was kind of very surreal to find the earth moving under your feet, and it happened so quick. I think this lasted for about 20 to 25 seconds on our end.
What was the concerns raised? Were there any lives lost, or it was just the tremor and the shock of the occurrence, or maybe properties damaged?
So far, I'm not aware of any lives lost. I think it's about 25 miles to 30 miles from where we're at. I mean, the epicenter is in New Jersey, on the borders of, I think, Philadelphia. I'm sorry, Pennsylvania. So far, no injuries that I know, but a lot of buildings were shaking, and Americans are quite shaky. You know, they get shaken quickly when things like this happen.
Does this have something to do with global warming per se? That's some of the speculation that's flying around. Is there a likelihood there will be another earthquake? What are the experts telling you?
Well, what I say to people is that I studied geography and planning, and this is my first time of experiencing an earthquake. But what we should understand is that over time, the earth readjusts itself, what I personally refer to as load balancing. But I cannot tell you that some of these things are not as a result of human activities, apart from what has been known as global warming, which affects everything around us. Sometimes I'm also aware, and so many of us are aware that sometimes there are a lot of human activities on the ground, like testing nuclear weapons that you may not be aware of, that affects the earth crust the way we've never even thought about. And so many times these things are not disclosed until 50 years later when they are declassified.
Oh, that's, I mean, you said this is your first experience of an earthquake. Did it bring up profound questions in your mind? Because some people say when they have this kind of experience, they begin to question their life purposes and things that they've done and all of that. Did this make you have some profound questions, really?
No, I think this is the only advantage of being a Nigerian. Nothing shakes you. Interestingly, we have unnatural earthquakes in Nigeria caused by bad leadership and misgovernance all the time. So we're always on shaky ground. But here, a lot of people don't. Their balance is so fragile to them. They don't like any kinds of disturbance. I remember once in New York area, also there was a major issue with the electricity, and there was light out, and everybody was freaking out. People were crying on the street, and I was driving around New York City. I was the happiest person navigating my way without traffic light, because of course I came from a country without electricity. Why would one day of blackout affect me? So Yeah, but we've seen and heard from a lot of people who are worried, and that this is, I've even gotten messages from a lot of people from Nigeria, that I should prepare for rapture. Of course, this is not.
We are Nigerians, of course, expected. Thank you so much for speaking with us, and please do stay safe.
Thank you so much for having me.